Assistance. How's the intern search, Cam, going? I haven't heard anything back regarding the intern searching process. I did see that you added a little note to the, because I was looking for somebody, with the skills in Excel, somebody who, was tidy, was organized, and you sort of added a clothing minimum kind of little note there.
As in the job requirements for the dress code?
Yeah, you kind of added a little dress code note where I was kind of more focused on the skills of the actual intern. You were more focused on possibly what they chose to wear.
Yeah, well, we adhere to strict rules. They better be skimpy. They better be tits out.
Okay, and but I did see that you were also looking for male-only interns. You kind of want, you're looking for heavier men who can kind of squeeze their chest flab together into a nice C cup.
And that's how you avoid a lawsuit.
Interesting. We got to write all this down. We got to write all this down before we forget. I'm writing down lawsuit. I'm writing down get lawyer.
Yeah, legal team would be a pretty good
legal
time.
Team. Let me just furl through my notes here. Yeah, legal team. Do we anticipate should we just kind of keep these guys on retainer? Cam, do you anticipate needing a legal team the more interns that we get here at the show?
Oh, easily, yeah. The more people, the more liability.
More people, more liability. I'm writing it down. Perfect. Should we get into the show? Kick it!
Continuing tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your
Two C's in a pod, 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 just like two C's in a pod, two C's because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com. Thanks, Cam. That one was reasonable this time. Usually you blast into our listeners' ears. This is Two C's in a Pod. Of course.
It's Monday morning.
It's Monday morning. This podcast is hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne. It's also hosted by Cam LeClaire, and he's sitting on the other end there.
Yeah, sitting in a rainy cabin.
It's a rainy day today. Probably no matter where you are, at least if you're one of our listeners, who I can only imagine find themselves tucked in the beautiful corner of southern Ontario, the southwestern little jut out, which we call. But this is episode 74. We're making our way towards that 100, and if everything goes correct, the 100th episode will coincide, Cam, with your birthday. So if there is a possibility of a live show happening there, it could happen. That could be the 100, could be the Cam's 27th birthday spectacular.
1 second, I got a bunch of interns asking questions because they don't know how to make coffee.
Interns.
Okay, under the coffee machine.
This is gold, by the way. We're keeping all this.
Yeah.
We're keeping all this in.
Go down, and then see where the potatoes are.
Cam explaining to an intern how to make coffee. Doesn't know how to make it. Classic Italian.
I think
Italian doesn't know how to make coffee.
Your first day on a job in an office, the first thing you should learn to do is make coffee. But people are going to be mad about it because you're going to make it wrong because they have certain ways they like to do it.
Now, me, Cam, and old slobs might remember, I like a ReBrewed pot.
Take the coffee.
Just to explain to everybody, so you kind of you make a pot of coffee like you would, pour out that coffee, replace the water, and then rebrew those grounds. That's liquid gold as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it looks like they found it. Maybe no, they haven't found anything. My lord!
We're keeping all this. We're keeping all this. By the way.
And this is why we need new interns.
Nothing gets cut out. Nothing gets cut out. We're typical Italians don't know how to make the coffee, and this is where we find ourselves.
All right, I'm gonna go find this coffee for them. All right, they don't want me to find the coffee.
Cam's gotta
God damn
find
it.
the coffee. I've got a cup of President's Choice dark roast going on over here. Of course, it's fresh. We're drinking from the beef diaper. It stays where you put it.
Is that? I think we went over that. That's the point of the beef diaper. It doesn't slide around your package.
The point of the beef, not only does it not slide around on the little piece of styrofoam, but it also absorbs the excess blood and juice. And yes, I know we've gotten a lot of emails saying that, Cameron isn't the beef diaper, just some Pampers that you purchased and then put them under your meat. And to those people, I gotta say, fuck off. These are not just Pampers. It's so much more.
In the beef diaper game. Where'd you get that cup, by the way?
Beefdiaper.com.
I imagine that has to be a value
branding. They are branding out. Now, people might think it'd be weird, it costs me about 13 cents per beef diaper, and I've been going door to door trying to sell this to people walking in, saying, hey, how do you feel about your ground beef, your ground chuck? And oftentimes they think to themselves, I don't think about my ground chuck, and that's where I kind of really step in there and say, for a price of only $14.95, you can have a brand new beef diaper.
I checked your Amazon webpage. I didn't see any of it, so if you have a different link, let me know.
We'll set up a different link for our
on the merch store. On the merch store.
Yeah, go to shopify.biz.
Shopify.biz-WordPress- word site / build your own website /
squarespace.com
/biz/gov.
Cam, let's get into the week by reviewing the week that was. How does that sound?
Right.
Let's get into
Great. And then I'll tell you a crazy fisherman's tale. But let's go back.
Wow. Let's get into some notes, shall we?
Notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. Notes. We got some notes.
Notes and amendments.
Cam, we were asking ourselves just last week about the police mounted on horseback, and really the question is, who cleans up the shit?
Yeah, who cleans up the horse shit that the police leave behind?
that the pigs oink oinks leave behind us? Well, Cam, best I could find was an article actually from the Toronto Star dating back to 2014, and it seems as though it's kind of like a crime. A citizen is meant to report it. So obviously, if a horse poops in the woods, it makes a sound, but then the cops will stop and pick it up and dispose of it properly. Only if it's,
I've never seen it.
Only if it's safe. Apparently, you need also 2 police officers because one person needs to hold the horse while the other one.
You're telling me that there needs to be 2 police officers every time a horse shits.
That's. I'm telling you the information that I found online.
This is where our money goes to.
And
we pay 2 people's salaries. One is there to pick up horse shit.
That's exactly it. So one police officer trained to be a police officer. The other one trained to be a stable hand.
He's got taser training, gun training. The other one just knows how to use a shovel very well.
One's trained to be a stable boy. But of course, sometimes
knows his knots. I bet he knows his knots though.
Oh, probably. But sometimes, but like you said, Cam, it will happen, and sometimes police officers don't realize it, or they're lying and they just don't want to pick it up. And in that case, if you see a big pile of horse shit, you are encouraged just dial 311 or the local helpline in your area, and someone will come and clean it up. So there is a system in place. The system in place just, I think, kind of relies on kind of the people, society kind of calling each other out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I just don't think it happens enough. What are you supposed to do if you see a dog that poops and then the owner doesn't pick it up?
I think
the appropriate move is, hey, do you need a bag? Because then it puts the onus on, oh, I assume that you're being a good guy, or you can just admit that you're a dickhead and you didn't pick it up.
Right, and this is a new strategy for you, Cam, because your previous strategy was just kind of hurl racial insults towards them. until they pick it up, but you have found a lot more success just with asking if they need a bag.
Yeah, well, I find that's a quick way around it.
It's a little bit quicker. It's a little bit faster.
Little bit more, successful way of doing it. People don't like being yelled at. Like the other day, I was in a Walmart and I saw someone left their dog in their car and it was 27 degrees. So instead of waiting and calling them, every host names under the sun, I called the Walmart to say, can you make an announcement on the loudspeaker, say that this Jamoke left his car or his dog in his car, and they did. And then the guy came out.
That's nice. It's sometimes that's all you can kind of do, right? Is that bare minimum, right? All you can do.
Well,
is
that's the thing. Am I going to go to the car and give him a piece of my mind? Be like, I'm going to steal your dog.
Well, exactly. Are you going to walk up to the cop and say, "Hey, your horse shit all over the place"?
Yeah, your horse shit all over the place.
You're probably just going to call 311.
Yeah.
Cam, our next note comes from, it's simple. It's a situation that you and I will never be in, but it was a question we had to ask ourselves. Can you just put a pin back into a grenade after you pull it?
That's a great question.
Great question. And the simple answer, Cam, is that it seems like you can. So grenades in movies work the exact same way as they actually work in real life.
So you're telling me if me and my friends get bored this weekend.
So you grab a grenade and you pull down the strike lever, and then you pull the pin out. After you release the strike lever, there will be anywhere from 3 to 4.5 seconds before the bomb actually goes off. But until that strike lever is released, nothing will happen. So you could have like a scene in a movie where they pull the pin and then they just hold it down. That can happen forever because the combustion process, the pins moving, the powder, all that stuff hasn't actually begun yet. So you could do exactly that.
Could you do this? Could you release the strike pin or the strike? What do you call it?
The strike lever. The
strike lever, then grab the strike lever again, or is it once the strike lever is released, then you're fucked?
Thanks for asking this, Cam. Yes, once you release it, you are fucked. It's like an it only goes one way type of thing.
Yeah.
The way the mechanics work on the inside. Once the strike lever has been pushed in, pulled, and then released, there's no going back.
Okay, that's good to know. Next time I have grenades.
Next
I
time,
think we need to figure out. Yeah.
Slobs, you got grenades?
How do you buy grenades in Canada?
Wait, are you asking
I'm
for a
just
friend?
curious.
Or are you asking because you want to be on a watch list somewhere?
I'm just saying that maybe my neighbors should be a little less pissed off when I make noise at night. And maybe they want to hear real noise.
And Cam, because this is a problem recently because you're making a lot of noise at night. You're grinding up coffee beans. You're making really kind of thick, rich protein smoothies.
I think the best time to chop wood is 1 a.m.
Yeah. You're chopping not only wood outside, but like vegetables inside against a hard wooden cutting board.
Yeah, just testing out different sounds for artistic work.
A project you're working on.
Just like our roommates used to do, yeah.
A project you're working on, yeah. Just you're hitting random things in no sensical sequence, and then calling it art.
That's what the music program at Laurier taught me.
That's what art is, as far as I'm concerned. It's doing pointless things.
And then writing a paper about how how it defies gender norms,
about its aesthetic beauty.
That's it. Yeah, I've seen a few of those. I've heard a few of those art projects. I've been to the music hall.
I've performed in 2 of such art projects. I have been a part of performances of people's art projects that have gotten them like 85%, like A grades.
And they probably whipped it up in 15 minutes.
And I have no clue what the hell I did. The first one I did was a roommate's thing where he had gone to like a scrapyard and gotten all sorts of pieces of metal. Everything from utensils to scrap metal to what looks like old train track posts, anything that he could find. So what he did was hit a bunch of them, record it, and then manipulate the recording. Okay? The next step he did was, with my help, polish off a couple bottles of Jack Daniels, take the labels off, empty them out, and then put enough sand in the bottle of Jack Daniels, attach them so it became an hourglass. Just for a minute long, though. You know how an hourglass works. I don't need to explain this. The third step in this process was setting up those exact same pieces of metal and then having me hit them on stage. So
you performed this live.
I performed this live over top of the recording of the pieces of metal that had already been manipulated. So there was two.
I'll let you finish.
So there's two people on stage. He's got the hourglass, and he's moving it over every minute. I think we did it 3 times, maybe, so maybe a 3.5-minute performance. And then me hitting pieces of metal haphazardly over top of a recording of metal being struck. And I did this in front of, 100 people maybe, in a beautiful auditorium. And afterwards,
don't tell me there was an applause after.
Oh, afterwards, it was a raucous applause.
People
that was
crying.
amazing. People are complimenting me in ways that I've never been complimented before. And I just had to sit there and take it. I had no clue what to say, but I did it.
And then the next person came on and played Smoke on the Water on their bass.
Yeah, it was just just straight up, no pizzazz, just a straight boom, boom, boom.
Boom, 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 like a grade 6 talent show.
They also got an A+ for some reason. I don't.
Yeah, so what was the meaning behind that art project? What were they thinking? No point of even explaining it.
I don't. Well, I certainly can't recall what it may have been.
Materialism is sand.
I'm sure it had to.
Sand is the devil.
It probably had to do
because of Iraq.
It probably had to do something
there.
with the passage of time. I bet that this roommate had just come hot off of reading Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. So
I got about 50 pages into that book. Not that much about motorcycle maintenance. Not instructional.
Now, Cam, this is interesting because you wanted to learn about motorcycle repair.
Yeah.
So, of course...
Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
So you're like, this is great.
Not an instructional
I'm going to
book.
be calm. I'm going to learn how to repair a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Cam, you may have been the first person ever to purchase that book with the intention of learning something about, motorcycle
how to clean
repair.
a carburetor. Not in there.
Super not in there. I would go as far as say there's
What's the fuel mix I should be putting into this?
I would go as far as say there may not even be a single note about how to repair a motorcycle.
There's some technical terms in there. No explanation of what they are.
Yeah.
Terrible book.
So that's what I'm...
0 out of 10.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they came hot off of reading that, and then they saw the sand and the metal, and it all kind of made sense for them.
Either way, I'm negative views on that one. Hey, do you want to hear my crazy fisherman tale?
Crazy fisherman tale. Now, this is going to be a good one. Yeah.
We had a fishing derby yesterday to see who could catch as many fish as we could, or the biggest one. The size of fish we're talking about was about a quarter of a pound, maybe a half pound.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing big. But everyone seemed to have success just pulling fish out of the water, except for the man in the mirror. I could put a worm in there,
MJ?
and these things... no, this guy. You're looking at him. Man on the mic.
Jamon.
Yeah. Jamon. So I can't catch a damn fish for the life of me. And then eventually, Jamie puts a line in for me. He says, Cam, you will catch a fish. You don't even need a rod. So he just gives me a string that has a hook on the bottom of it plus a worm. And it's just like, this little piece of shit fish, little rock bass, jumps on, grabs the bait. And I don't know if you know anything about rock bass, but rock bass are shit fish. They eat lake trout eggs, so they're somewhat called invasive species. Anyway, this all drives back to the point. Someone holds the fish in front of me as it's in the air, and I decide to give it a left hook. I throw the left hook, and next thing you know, the fish doesn't bite back, but the scales do. I now have 2 scales in me that will not come out of my knuckle.
Wow.
Yeah. Very painful.
Now, Cam, I gotta say...
I might need to go to the doctor.
I gotta say, probably zero sympathy from me. Of course, zero sympathy from the slobs at home.
The tough part's going to be explaining to the doctor.
I want to say almost this is what you get for animal cruelty.
100%.
Wow, I'm really proud. I'm really proud that you vocalized that so loudly. I would be quite ashamed to tell people that I punched a live fish.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I might have to go to the doctor and explain to them
Can we see
why
him?
there's
Can you get it up?
fish scales.
Is it, are they...
I mean, there's nothing you can see. It
no,
just looks like my knuckle. It's just,
right.
Yeah, so now I got a moving scale in my hand.
Well, that's fun. Well, hey, I mean, a few weeks ago you did, I believe you did choose Aquaman as your favorite, or like the superhero powers that you would most rather have.
Well, that's what I'm going for. They say a spider bite makes you Spider-Man, a fish scale makes you
Aquaman, you know? So next thing you know, you're swimming through the water, you're talking to fish, you're manipulating water and all that kind of stuff. So this could actually be a step in the right direction. We might have to follow up on this next week to see if any other, amphibious things, what else happens to you?
Yeah, we'll see if I become a better swimmer, because right now I sink.
Yeah, you could become a better swimmer for all we know.
Yeah, so that's my embarrassing tale of the week. Lesson learned: don't punch fish, people.
Probably don't punch fish. That would probably be the lesson learned.
Or if you're going to wear gloves, maybe just the first lesson: just don't punch fish.
Yeah, put on your 10-ounce mitts and just go
put
for
on
it.
10-ounce mitts, because that's the main reason that boxers and MMA fighters have gloves, so they don't fuck up their hands and they don't have as many cuts on their face.
I know, that's the worst part about the the UFC is the little gloves they wear.
Well, if you've watched bare knuckle before, you see those guys' faces just get smashed.
Great, that's ultimate, baby.
Yeah, but
my knuckles are gonna hurt. No, my face. That's not Ultimate Fighter. That's something else.
Well, also you break your knuckles or break your hands really easily.
Great. You're making $20,000.
You want to see more people break their hands?
You're making $15,000 to have CTE for the rest of your life anyways. Chances are you're going to retire from fighting and hate your life, so you might as well just go balls to the wall in the first place. Entertain me. That's why you're there.
Interesting theory,
isn't it?
I'm gonna go.
Why else would we watch men beat the effing living shit out of each other unless it was for our pure carnal entertainment?
If you want to see them beat the shit out of each other worse, you better put gloves on though, because otherwise they'll break their hands. Then it's going to lead to a lot of broken hand fights.
Great. I want to see it too.
You want to see broken hands over broken faces?
Yeah, because then it feels like there's something to overcome. Your right hand is broken. Okay, gotta bring in that left. Oh shit, my left hand is broken.
That happens still,
boom.
but you don't.
Now my knee. Now I gotta
fun.
start kneeing them. Okay, now I gotta get into the elbows, the holds.
I don't know, Cam. I think you're off on this one.
I don't know. I'm just saying we're capping ourselves at what ultimate fighting could be. Why aren't they doing it in like in space, an anti-gravity ultimate fighter? I don't know, put jetpacks on him. Come on, but there has to be a limit to just watching men hit each other directly in the temple. There has to be a limit. That's boring. That's old news. It's 2021. We gotta spice this up somehow.
Yeah, make it infinite rounds, and they'll have. Every now and then they'll tie up someone's arm so they can only use one arm.
Yeah, it's one limb. Or you get one arm tied behind your back. Or, an actual death match.
Or 2-on-1s.
2-on-1. I mean, come on.
Different weight classes.
We're watching the same shit every single weekend. We watch some guy get knocked out. The next week
one man has a sword.
Something
but he only
like
has
that.
30 seconds.
Yeah, a sword and 30 seconds. Or, you have bullets, but only a slingshot. I don't know. These are the marketing things that will get people interested in it.
I like that idea.
Maybe instead of, a man on a man, it's like a man
on a horse.
I was going to say like a rooster. We got a cockfight. It's like half cockfight, half UFC fight. That's the fight I want to see. Both are fucked. So let's just watch it anyways.
Have you heard of Fight Circus before?
Fight Circus. This sounds like where I want to be. Are they all dressed up like clowns or something?
No, Fight Circus just brings in like the weirdest mix of fights. So, for example, they will do I'm just trying. They'll do like 5-on-1 fights. They just have a lot of 2-versus-1 bare knuckle fights with headbutts, big fighter versus little fighters, average Joes versus the pros. They'll have little people fighting. They have quite a bit of stuff going on. So if you're looking for something that's just barbaric entertainment and also is highly sexualized, this is what you're looking for.
See, this is what I want to see. This is what I want to see. 2 men in thong bikinis headbutting each other. Like, that's Ultimate Fighter. None of this, I'm going to wear gloves and hold an empty monster can.
So this one's for Fight Circus Volume 3, Fisting for Dollars. This is real. Other attractions you're going to look at is Bank and No Money Defend. Oh, I guess that's their names of them. Yeah. What the fuck? These people look like me.
It could be you, Cam. You could be in the Ultimate Fighter circus. The UFC.
That's weird. I saw a shitty Photoshop and it looked like me. So we got a 2-on-1 intergender Muay Thai fight. Karate versus Taekwondo kicking only bout. Trinity rules, 1-round boxing, 1-round Muay Thai, 1-round MMA.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle boxing, a phone booth fight. I'm not sure what that is. Indian leg wrestling. Siamese boxing, then Lethway.
See, this sounds like it took all the fun parts of WWE and professional wrestling and mixed it with people actually getting knocked out. It took the pageantry of it all.
I just can't believe it's like I don't know where they must be doing this on a native reserve because there's no promotion that would allow for this.
No state would allow this to happen.
No state is going to allow this. No, definitely not. Soon it's going to be like who can poke the other person in the eye quicker.
Good. I want that. That's ultimate to me, baby. Have you ever been in a street fight? None of these guys have ever been in a street fight. I mean, look at John Jones. Look at John Jones, one of the most dominant athletes of all time, and he spends his time hitting people with his car. This guy doesn't know how to fight in the streets.
Are you ready for our next segment, Cam?
Sure. Run up the next segment.
This is the worst segue ever, by the way.
You just said we're ready for the next thing. Clearly, you wanted to hop off this UFC conversation, the Ultimate Fighting Circus.
I was just looking at how much time we're burning through talking about the UFC, and I know our fans hate the UFC. So,
no, we're not talking about UFC. We're talking about the Ultimate Fighting Circus.
Good point. The Fight Circus. Speaking of circuses, they often happen at night, and maybe that means it's time for the nightcap.
The Nightcap, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. All we need is 5 minutes to recap this week's episode. Maybe less than 5 minutes, but certainly not more than 5 minutes. We're going to need more than 5 minutes.
You did there?
I mean, I see what you did there, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's called, that they teach that in radio class. It's called smooth transitions.
Of course, we're talking about Knight Rider, Season 1. Every single week, we're watching a little bit of the show, watch one episode, and then we actually have only 5 minutes to recap it. Not a second more or a second less. Well, I guess we could go less if we wanted to. This week, we have episode 15 for you, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. So let's bring ourselves back to a beautiful Friday in the winter of 1982. Cam, you're going to be kicking off this week's episode.
That's right.
And we've got 5 minutes of the clock. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're on.
Knight Rider episode 70-something, or Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. It opens at a racetrack where F1 type cars are flying around a track until one crashes into the wall, throwing flames, foreshadowing the rest of this episode. On an unrelated note, Michael Knight meets with Devin and Bonnie in the trailer where Michael asks Bonnie out on a date, but she refuses, saying that she has to do upgrades on Kit. Maybe we'll see if this upgrade pays off later. We find out later there's a saboteur in the race that Michael Knight will be joining in at, and his job is to figure out what the hell's going on at this racetrack. This is going to be a 3-day race where cars from all types of alternative energy will be racing to just figure out who gets there the quickest and uses the least fuel. Very much a green episode. Now, Michael runs into a lady who's a photographer of the race, Liberty Cox. Let that sink in. who plays a very interested role in Michael Knight. Liberty is really trying to get in there with Michael one way or another and is following around asking questions about his car as Michael goes into the drivers meeting where there's drivers all over the world. At the same time, we see a little bit of shenanigans with Kit because Liberty tries to get into the car, but because of the technology has a new blackout feature which doesn't allow for it. Not that important, but we later on learn about the different types of cars using methane, alcohol, propane, solar power, and Kit's liquid hydrogen powered car. The race begins with a lot of great racing shots, and out of the blue, a saboteur, you don't see his face, takes a gun out on the cliff JFK style and fires at Michael Knight's car, but because it's Kit, it doesn't do anything, but manages to pop the tires on the car behind Michael. Michael obviously gets out of his car, saves the lady, and pulls the bullet out of the tire for evidence. Maybe we'll figure out where this bullet came from. Michael Knight rolls up to the hotel and greets Liberty as well as the other drivers who are not very friendly with him. Devin and the executive team go to what they call the Arabs room and find the sniper. Case closed? I think not, Cam. At the same time, Liberty surprises Michael in his room with big news that they have found the saboteur and a big smooch to keep him interested. A quick shot over to a bomb being placed in an engine bay of a car. I'll pass it over to Cam to find out what happens next.
It's day 2. Liberty shows up just with sandwiches and juice boxes like we're married or something, and Michael Knight tells her, hell no, you can't ride with us. So she hops in the car with the rednecks because she wants that scoop, like you said. We hit the road, one car short, and a beautiful Hurt So Good montage blaring in the background. We start a little background check of our own on the racers, and it turns out that old little Liberty has a bit of a criminal past. Maybe that'll come back to play later. Right then, the Dukes of Hazzard start very casually sexually assaulting Liberty, so their car is all over the road. We get the jump on them. Liberty literally jumps out of the car just in time before the bomb that was planted earlier turns out to be in the redneck car, and it goes off to a huge explosion, killing presumably these two guys. We don't actually get a confirmation on that. At the end of the day, we decide to ask the drivers whether or not they want to keep racing or not, and all the drivers unanimously agree to run it back. Liberty is fixing her equipment kind of behind a bar when she overhears Clark, the promoter of the race, blaming Ed, the TV exec, for the explosion. That's right, it was a setup this entire time. But like a classic damsel in distress, Liberty gets herself kidnapped. But so we are now slooping, because we're curious about what the hell's going on here, too. Knight finds a detonator in Liberty's purse, and due to her criminal past and her being missing, we have concluded that she was behind this entire thing. Liberty and the bad guys are setting up the bomb next to the race while the race has started, and we all drive right past where she was tied up. So it appears as though she's going to die. Michael Knight uses a bit of his detective work to realize that all the accidents are actually happening close to the camera crews, which doesn't appear to be a coincidence. So we double back to save Liberty. Kit drives over top of the bomb to save everyone, like he's done a few times before. Actually, if the bomb goes off, everybody's okay. So now it's off to the end of the race and to expose our baddies, and the chase is on. The news truck they're driving flips over. We catch them. Case is closed. Back at headquarters, Bonnie and Michael Knight are happy. They got the trophy. They're celebrating everything, but then for some reason, which I didn't still quite gather, the race technically didn't count. So we're gonna race it again, and maybe we'll win again this time. But for this week, that was all of the Knight Rider.
Yeah, great episode.
Another great episode.
Yeah, I was intrigued by this one. Once he saw the sniper rifle, I liked how they immediately blamed it on the, which they called, again, the Arab in the race. Just different times.
And, Cam, we only have 7 more weeks of Knight Rider before the season's done.
Yeah, we gotta start thinking of another show to watch.
Yeah, we are coming up on the the kind of the final third, the final 33% of the season. So another great episode.
If you listeners have any ideas for shows that we could watch that we have definitely not seen and would not have watched on our own, give us a shout. And Gilmore Girls does not count.
Gilmore Girls does not count. Sorry about that. Slobs.
Sex in the City? Nope.
Also does not count.
Jersey Shore season 1?
I've seen it already. I've watched that a few times.
You've seen it more than once?
No. I
was gonna say, me too.
Hashtag.
Hashtag me too.
That was fantastic, Cam. Classic. Hashtag me too. Getting a raucous laughter from the interns. They
the interns
loved
like that one.
joke. They loved that joke. If you love jokes like that, be sure to tune in to more 2seesinapod at gmail.com.
2seasinapod. Hey, Cam, I think we can play another game here.
Yeah, sure. What you got for me?
Well, I think the interns are wild up. They got their coffee, and they seem like they need a little bit of... They didn't get their coffee. They couldn't figure it out, these idiots.
Probably.
It's
a French press. I didn't think there was much to figure out. It's a French press.
They just don't understand how coffee beans work. They just put the coffee beans in the top, and only water came out. So you have to grind them. We're working on it. It's only day 7. Anyway, let's play a little Urban Dictionary Balderdash and see if we can get a contestant on here to guess what the word means.
AIDS, bum, cum, douche, edge, fap, gimp, herb, ike, jerk, cush, lamp, mac, narc, oaf, pank, queet, re, slore, tilf, uff, vag, walk of shame, zon, yeet, and zuck. Now let's play some Balderdash. Urban Dictionary Balderdash.
All right, which one of you interns wants to come on?
I'll do it. All coming so quick.
All right.
This is unheard of. I don't know if we've ever had a. I don't know if an intern's ever been on the show here before. This is
Do I have to wear a shirt?
Unprecedented.
Is it that kind of podcast?
Okay.
This is unprecedented. You know how the game is played. We go to Urban Dictionary and then we play Balderdash.
Okay. Do you want me to start off?
Sounds
we can
simple
get 2
enough.
guesses.
Yeah, sure. Let's. Cam, why don't you kick this one off?
All right. You can't look at this. Okay. All right. So, the word of the day is clout demon.
A clout demon. So clout means something that I forget.
I can use it in a sentence if you want.
You do it for. Oh yeah. Can you use the word in a sentence, please?
Okay. SoundCloud rapper. Check out this link. Realist in the game. Social media feminist. Women have a voice. Hashtag brave. Normal human. Shut up, clout demon.
Okay, so I'm going to say a clout demon is somebody who uses like their platform or whatever for clout, but like they don't actually believe in what they're talking about. They're just doing it so they appear like they care. You know, you're kind of doing it for the likes, you're doing it for the comments, you're doing it for the positive reviews, but you don't actually care about the things that you're preaching. That's my guess.
I've never played Balderdash. I'm just guessing what this word is.
We're guessing what the word means, and then we will find out the actual definition of what it means.
Oh, I can't make coffee and I can't play Balderdash. I'm not off to a good start today. Okay, clout demon. It's a demon that haunts guys that like to buy and sell clothes. Yeah, it's like a curse that they get where, they'll miss all the drops. Yeah, they'll be last in line when they show up to buy stuff like that. Yeah,
right.
It haunts them.
They're sitting in queue for those new Yeezys, and then they just get booted out of the queue without
They're always
them knowing.
the last person where they go, sorry, we just sold out.
We just sold out.
When they're wearing their new Yeezys, somebody scuffs them instantly. It's a curse.
That's when you say, don't be sorry, be careful.
That's the clout demon scuffing those shoes.
Well, you're both pretty close. Dan, you have it with the demon, the demonic possession of it. It's someone who is possessed by clout chasing. The original human is now gone, and a demonic entity that feeds on clout is all that is left. It's an empty shell of a man or woman with no control of their actions, forced to blindly react to situations they think will bring them clout.
Wow. Okay.
Too close to home for me. That one hurts a little bit.
Shut up, clout demon.
Get out of here, clout demon. The power of
All right.
Christ
Let's hear what you got,
compels
kiddo.
you. Okay, we've got a word for you here, and it is cheugy.
Cheugy.
Can you spell that?
I will spell it for you. CHEUGY.
I mean, that doesn't help me at all. What's the origin of the word? Is Latin?
The country of origin. Country of origin.
Mississauga? I don't know.
Country of origin. Yeah, sure. We can say Brampton. We can say Brampton on this
Brampton,
podcast, right? Yeah, North American country is the country of origin for sure.
And used in a sentence,
Here's
please.
a sentence. My friends told me to change before the party because my favorite pair of Blue Notes jeans were cheugy.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my god, that threw me through a loop. I thought cheugy was like a thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess it's an adjective.
It's an adjective.
That's what we're
So
looking
I'm
for.
thinking, I think it means something. It's definitely a negative connotation that you don't want to wear those pants because they represent cheugy. Yeah, this one's tough.
Taking you for a ride on this one.
Blue Notes pants. Man, I'm not pulling it. I'm gonna say that it is too. They look like. You got anything?
I think it's has to do with like dad style, kind of like too like corny, like dad bonery. I'm making that
Dad
Yeah,
bonery.
I'm messing
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like how do you describe that? You know, your dad's fashion. You know, like people wear like those like acid wash jeans that are too tight, or I don't know, what else do dads wear? Not your dad. Your dad just wears like Adidas tracksuits and stuff. He's not cheugy at all. Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
That's good. Cam, you got anything to add in there?
I'm gonna say it represents white norms, and it's non-inclusive.
White
That's my-
norms, non-inclusive.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
people will see you as a racist, man, if you wear Blue Notes
Okay.
jeans because you're cheugy.
Yeah, just because they're Blue Notes. Well, I didn't
Yeah.
put Blue Notes there, and the reason I think Dan was the closest getting that one. Yeah, because cheugy is really just something. It's the opposite of trendy. It's something that was stylish in high school, but maybe not anymore. Yeah, it's not cool enough to be cool again. It's just,
But it was cool at once.
it's just lame now. It's used for someone who just
Gotcha.
kind of follows out of date trends. You know, if you're shopping at the Garage, remember Garage? If you're if you're shopping there, if you're shopping at Blue Notes, you're probably a little bit cheugy.
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 I love that.
Yeah. There you go. That's how you play. That's how you play the game, though. I think, Cam. I think you have actual balderdash at the cottage there. Do you in that little bucket?
Let's take a peek.
It comes in it's always in a purple box, and it says balderdash right across the back. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Let's hope so, because I need to brush up on my skills.
It's
clearly.
actually it's
headbands, taboo.
taboo.
Every other game.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. No,
maybe.
I
I got another chest full of games.
Is there a game called Pandemic?
Yeah, we're gonna play that today. That's gonna be fun.
It is a fun game because you do get to lie to your friends when you do
Pandemic?
in Balderdash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is a lying
that's what
to
this
your
Pandemic
friends
is.
element,
No,
which
Pandemic's a blast.
is always fun. Yeah, there's no Urban Dictionary Pandemic. That's just a good game. Well, that's how you play it.
Should we do another game?
Yeah, what do you got for me, bud?
Hey, you want to get one of these guys on?
One
One of the other interns?
of the other tins want to be on? We got stage fright intern. He's pretty new, so he's not willing to be on.
It's a lot to ask. I mean, an intern's never popped in the studio ever, so this is all record breaking right now.
Yeah, we don't normally get guests on the podcast, so it's nice.
I'm truly honored.
Thank you.
I'm honored. I did miss the Cam's birthday episode. I was there at the party, but I did not hop on the mic.
Outside the room, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were just saying.
If you go back, you can actually find vocals of Shane puking and Jamie yelling, banging on the window.
I think it's episode. It was an early episode. It's episode 5 or something. So Slobs, go back, listen to episode 5. Yeah, we'll be waiting for next. We'll be waiting for the next Cam's birthday episode.
I think we do a little free on Kijiji.
Free on Kijiji. You know how the game is played. People are giving shit away for free on Kijiji all the time. So let's try to sell some of it. Cam, I'll kick you off here. So of course we're entering the elevator.
Well, now you have two investors.
I have two investors. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So we're walking into an elevator here, and Cam's coming in.
So I'm gonna pitch to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna elevator pitch you this free
Something
item
free that we found on Kijiji.
that I found on Kijiji.
Well, I got my pockets full of cash. I'm ready to spend.
Pockets full of
hear it.
cash
Ready to
that
drop
I don't know.
bills.
It might just be for free. So we're entering the elevator. Ding. Oh boys. Wow. You two look very tanned right now.
Yeah. It's like on the course.
Long weekend out on the links.
It's been a long weekend.
Making deals.
Things.
Who the hell are you?
I mean, you've been spending so much time on the land playing on the course. I would love for you guys to take off into the sea, the open water. Yeah, you guys spend much time there out on the water?
I'm not a big water guy, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, tell me more.
Well, I gotta say, I purchased this property from my deadbeat stepmom, and there's so much land, things on the property.
I like land.
What I have found is a well-crafted cabin cruiser, a 26-footer from 1984. Beautiful year for Van Halen rock and roll music. But this is a boat that it's perfect. It's perfect. The hull is good.
So you're telling me you're giving me a boat for free?
I'm telling you that I have a boat just sitting on my property. It's sitting on a stack of styrofoam. I'm not sure if the engine works. There's also no trailer. But if you want it...
Can you describe the color of this boat? The outside, the coloring?
Yeah, of course I can. And now you boys are old enough to remember. Do you remember Zellers?
Oh yeah.
And
every day.
do you remember
Mine's
how
with Sellers?
Do you remember how Zellers was like the inside of the store was painted white, but it was clearly painted white like in the 70s, and now it's been 50 years,
It
and
still
now
has
it's
cigarette stains
It's
in
not
it?
quite white anymore. That's
my favorite color.
That's the color.
I love it.
not
Love it.
not
Cigarette
white.
yellow.
Cigarette white.
Cigarette white. My favorite cover white.
It's yours if you want it. It's got no trailer. I don't know about the engine, but the hull is good.
How many people could I fit on this boat? do you think?
How many hoes? How many Haraguchi girls can I fit?
How
in this boat?
many? Well, you can definitely fit Gwen Stefani and the rest of the Haraguku girls. Singing Hollaback Girl. Yeah, we remember you, Gwen. We remember that video. You're never gonna live that one down, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Well, let's pool onto that one, Cam, because I have an investment for you. You got a boat? You say you got a boat?
I got a boat I'm trying to get rid of.
Oh, you think this is a one-way elevator pitch? Because we've targeted you, my friend.
Uh-oh.
We're about to pitch right back.
We're going to pitch you right back. You got a boat. Well, I got something better for you. Well, listen, it's not going to sound relevant, but I got a 1984 Pace Aero motorhome. All right? What the fuck are you going to do with the motorhome? Well, it's not so good. It's a shell of itself, but what a thing it does have. It's got a motor. I'm not saying it's going to run, but it's got a damn motor for free.
It's got a motor in there in this motorhome. This is fantastic. My deadbeat stepmom just kicked me out of the house. So you're saying it's more home than motor?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that this machine will not run. It really won't come off my yard. I'm not going to deliver it. But what it does have is a good motor and a good frame. So if we can put our two pieces together, I think we have something.
I think we have the ultimate vacation between the two of us. A motorhome and a boat.
You could sell your real house. Just live between the two of those. You got water covered. You got land covered. What else do you need?
You're ready for
It's
everything.
a GM 454. Yeah, it's got 100K on it, but nautical miles, fuck, I don't think it has any nautical miles on it.
That was fantastic. Free shit. If you want this,
Yeah, you find all kinds of free shit.
If you want
this one's located in Kitchener.
Yeah, mine was in somewhere in Arizona, I think.
Yeah, how do you find yours? Because I don't know how to search out of Canada for free shit.
I just go off Kijiji. It's the idea of Kijiji that I
but what do you
that
use?
I carry
Craigslist?
forward. Yeah, Craigslist, and then go to the most redneck hillbilly place you can think of.
That's a good idea.
That's where they're giving out some good free shit down there in the States. Love it down there.
Great. Well, yeah, if anyone in Kitchener is looking for a 1984 Pace Aero motorhome, we got one for free. The only thing good on it is the motor as well as the frame. But if you can get it out of here, it's all yours. No delivery. Do not send me emails. This is a third-party placed ad, and it can be found at Campers World RV Sales and Service at 1621 Victoria Street North.
Did you also say 1984?
It is, yeah.
That was weird because that's the
1984.
1984 too. That was weird. Great year.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Huge year for if you want to be mobile.
It must have been. It must have been. Van Halen's Panama just came out. Blasting Panama.
Ripping around on their boats, pretending they're at the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
Panama. Yeah,
You guys gotta get clearance for that song.
Yeah.
So
We gotta bleep it. Anytime we sing a song, we're not allowed to upload it onto YouTube. Actually, I do think though, the other week,
our last week's, that probably does not go on YouTube.
no, it does, but there's like a copyright claim on the video. Dan, as you might know, we introed with a little CSI Miami type of riff.
Maybe we can do the bit right now. Maybe we can do the bit right now.
Where no, we don't need to redo the bit. No, we're not going. We're not going back. We're not going back. I don't want that. We're gonna get the copyright claim again.
Maybe they didn't get their happily ever after.
And then wow, yeah. That video officially cannot be monetized for us on YouTube due to the 3.5 seconds of the Who song.
Don't worry. I know the guys from the Who. I'll reach out. We'll get it cleared.
I know Horatio from CSI Miami. He'll get it cleared.
Oh yeah? No shit. You're thinking David Caruso? I don't know
who's Horatio.
I don't know who Horatio is, but I know you're thinking of David Caruso.
He's just like a criminal on one of the episodes. He like appears in the back. Oh yeah, my guy Horatio.
On the one episode,
is David Caruso the actor?
David Caruso is the name of the lead actor, so maybe his character is named Horatio.
I think his name is Horatio.
Okay,
yeah. I don't know why you'd ever go by the actor's name.
Well, I was gonna say Horatio
Peter
is
Parker. I don't know Peter Parker's real name.
I was going to say Horatio is a weird character name choice for a white ginger man. I thought Horatio was more of a name kind of reserved for Hispanic characters, but I guess it was the early 2000s. It was a different time.
Wait, no, isn't Horatio the guy from Shakespeare?
Shakespeare,
like
one of the classic
Othello.
one of the classic
Othello.
name makers. Was there Horatio? There was a Horatio in one of them.
Othello, I think.
I never read Othello, so I'm not sure.
Sands, that's a guy. I don't know.
Horatio Sands is a guy. Classic SNL cast member, Horatio Sands.
That's it.
Yeah, there could be there's a Mercutio.
I get names mixed up quite easily.
Or Petruchio, I think, is Romeo's best friend in Romeo and Juliet.
Petruchio? I think you're off on that one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to add this one to notes for next week.
Notes and amendments.
Notes, but that's okay. That's okay.
No amendments, just notes. Just amendments.
We also got to get on this whole this whole Horatio nonsense.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Before I leave, I'd like to plug my podcast that doesn't yet exist, but I'm going to be learning how to make coffee.
Now, this is a podcast I can really get behind. All the different ways of making coffee. You got pour over brew. We got instant. We got cold brew, which, of course, is, as we know, is just pouring cold water over top of full coffee beans and then drinking the drips that come down at the bottom. Now, this is a podcast I can really get behind.
Recycled brew.
ReBrew, my favorite style of coffee.
ReBrew.
As we all remember, you make a pot of coffee, pour out that coffee, put water back in, and then rebrew the grounds that you just brewed in the first place. That's where the real flavor comes out. Old slobs know. Old slobs know.
Old slobs know.
Old slobs know.
Great. All right. I think we can wrap it up with our final game of the evening.
Sounds great.
Headline or asinine.
Hey. Headline or asinine. Headline or asinine.
You want to join or you want to leave?
I'll stay for it. I don't have to be involved, but I'll hang out.
All right. We got a hanger on.
Fantastic.
We got a level 5 clinger.
Well, we're playing Headline or Asinine. We know how the game is played. There's a lot of headlines out there. Some are real, some are fake. God, I love the way that news is distributed in 2021. Because you never know when a headline's going to be real and when it might just surprise you. So, Cam, I'm going to kick this one off here for you. Headline or asinine, former President George Bush announces that he has, quote, something big planned for 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Well, that's a poor way to phrase that I'm going to be releasing some big news. It's like when, who's the lead singer of Blink-182?
Are you thinking Tom DeLonge or Mark Hoppus?
That's it, Tom DeLonge. When he says, I have something big to say, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be something about revealing aliens. When George W. Bush says he has something big to say about 9/11, maybe not something big to say, but I think maybe people are getting the wrong impression from that. So, what's he going to announce? I mean, I doubt the article says what's going to be announced, but...
It wouldn't be much of an announcement if it did.
Yeah, he's probably going to... do you know how many towers fell on 9/11?
Who knows?
Most people...
I think they're still falling, some of them. It's like dominoes.
Most people say 2. It's actually 3 is the actual answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most people say 2. So he'll probably announce that it's 3. That's kind of what I'm predicting.
So you're saying it's a headline?
Most people think it's 2.
That's what we're saying, because most people think it's 2. No, this was asinine. This was asinine. I made it up.
No way.
I made it up.
No.
I think you're going to speak that into existence. We're going to see that happen.
Yeah.
Something big might happen. I just don't know if George W. Bush will be the one behind it. Isn't he cool now? He hangs out with Ellen and stuff.
Apparently, yeah.
At Rangers
he likes
games.
To paint now. He's a painter.
Oh yeah. If we're talking the great painters of the 21st century, I'm going straight to George W. We're talking Jim Carrey. We're going some of the most well-known painters of our lifetime.
Okay, headline or asinine for the two of you here. Caldwell Fire Department says the flux capacitor seems to be the likely culprit in DeLorean car fire.
Oh, now here we go. If you buy a DeLorean, you have one idea in mind. You're trying to recreate the car from Back to the Future. Maybe part 2.
Or you're trying to get back to the future. You actually are giving it a shot.
You are actually Doc Brown. You've come back. You've de-aged because you came back in time. See, now I think this would be a big problem. People trying to put electronic components into their vehicle, and then it just doesn't work. I also picture a lot of DeLoreans smelling like trash. If we can recall Back to the Future Part 2, the DeLorean works on garbage for some reason. I don't really remember, or like just recyclables.
Just like the episode of what's it called? Our last episode.
Just
Knight
like
Rider.
just
that
like
was all alternative energy.
Just like the last, yeah. Doc Brown was really at the forefront of alternative energy.
Who's Doc Brown?
But now I'm trying to wonder how a flux capacitor could like go awry, because I picture it just be you go to Amazon, you buy like a fake flux capacitor, you just stick it to the roof of your car, and then you press a button, and then it looks like it does something cool. But if you're trying to wire it yourself, I don't know what the point is. That seems like something that should be battery operated.
What is a flux capacitor exactly? I've heard this term before. I just thought it was like a actual car part. Is it from Back to the Future?
It's the piece
they don't talk about in the art of motorcycle maintenance, so I'm not sure.
If you're ever reading Zen in the art of motorcycle maintenance, no, the flux capacitor is the piece, like the piece of the DeLorean, or that makes the time traveling possible. It's just like it's mentioned at the very beginning. He's like, we're able to travel time because of the flux capacitor, and then we're like, great, let's move on because we want to see the good shit. But yeah, if you have DeLorean,
this is the best internship I've ever had. I'm learning so much.
Yeah, your last internship, you were just sweeping up cigarette butts, but now you're learning real 80s movie knowledge. Yeah, there's enough DeLorean. Yeah, there's nobody out there with a DeLorean who just wants a DeLorean. everybody out there, they're trying to recreate the vehicle, the famous vehicle. So I'm going to say that this is a headline.
I'm going to have to agree. I think it's a headline.
This is a headline out of Caldwell, Idaho, where Thursday morning crews from the fire department put out a fire that completely engulfed and destroyed a DMC DeLorean car, the one made famous by the 1985 Oscar-winning film. Did you know that it was Oscar-winning?
I think it was one, but it was like a side Oscar. It was like it was
probably like
editing
best sound that kind of sounded like space. Award.
I think this is tied into the first headline with George Bush. I think this was George Bush's DeLorean that he was like, for 9/11, I'm going to go back in time. That's my big announcement. I'm going
that's the big thing. Yeah,
sure it doesn't happen.
George W. wants to go back to the 80s and undo all the cocaine that he did at the University of Yale.
Do you think that happened? Is there proof on that?
I think there's like a lot of proof on that. Actually, he just was
Which president hasn't done cocaine though? Let's be honest.
I'm gonna say one of the ones like before it existed.
Fair enough.
Grover Cleveland. He was too fat for cocaine.
He was doing that shit every day.
Yeah.
That's my favorite president. Has he been Me Too'd yet?
No, but he died in office, so that's pretty cool.
Wow.
I think there's another one too who also died in office. Yeah, they just had like a heart attack.
Wait,
I think
by non-assassination?
Yeah, there's 4 assassinations and 2 just like they had a heart attack in their bathtub.
He died doing what he loved.
They died doing what he loved, taking a bath. Cam, I got another headline here.
I haven't even finished
shit. I'm
yet.
sorry. Keep going.
Actually, there's really not much more to the news itself. It seems like it might be a little bit of a joke headline because their official statement was no one got hurt. They did not state if the DeLorean reached 88 miles per hour before it was engulfed in flames, and no one managed to get back in time. So there's really not much news to it. It's unclear if Marty McFly or Dr. Emmett Brown were behind the wheel of the DeLorean at the time of the fire. So a lot of unknowns, really.
So this does sound like a joke. This does sound like asinine.
Okay, we do know that there was a fire put out that engulfed a DeLorean. The investigators of the fire department believe it was the flux capacitor. That's all we're getting. They're tight-lipped about this one.
And certainly old slobs of the show would certainly remember that if I ever won the lottery, the very first thing I would do would shot for shot recreate the intro from Back to the Future.
From Top Gun. Oh, I thought it was Top Gun.
No, from Back to the Future. As soon as there's the whole beginning when Marty McFly has the amps at Doc Brown's house and the phone goes off and he says, "No, Doc, I'm late for school." Then he hangs up the phone and then Huey Lewis in the news is Power of Love starts. From that moment on, I want to recreate a shot for shot. Just the opening credits. He's on his skateboard sketching through town and there's the yoga studio with all the women working out and he waves at him. It's a whole thing. Cam, I got a second headline here for you. Are you ready?
Let's hit it.
Nicolas Cage only eats animals who mate in a dignified fashion.
Nick. I think I saw a movie with him the other day that was just fantastic and terrible at the same time.
Was it Con Air? We watched Con Air on the podcast.
Yeah.
Face Off.
No, I know that's one of his famous ones. Oh, that one might need a movie review on its own.
I'd like to know what he thinks is a dignified fashion. Like in his eyes, what is dignified?
Yeah, like is a duck dignified because it does have that coil dick?
There's nothing more dignified than that.
Than the coil dick.
I've seen ducks mating, and it is ugly. Never seen a turtle mate, but I can't imagine that's any prettier.
Well, he's not going to eat turtle, is he? Well, maybe he is.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
with him, I nothing would come as a surprise.
Yeah, is he at the point now where he is just embraces his meme status and just puts out things to make the story even better about him? What do you call it when the canon? Is that the word we're looking for, Cam? Is there canon around Nick Cage?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, that he's a crazy guy. That's kind of Nick Cage's canon.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that he's gonna pick like 4 animals, and the headline's not that crazy itself, but he's just putting it down as that. So it's gonna be like pigs are no, chickens are yes, cows yes, and deer maybe.
Okay,
that's a headline.
Well, Cam, this is a headline. You are right. This is a story where Nicolas Cage says that he's made the dietary choice of only eating animals who mate with a level of dignity, which rules out pork for whatever reason.
I called it.
Well, I don't know. I've never seen pork mate, but it does include things like fish and poultry because their love lives are much more decorous. Nicolas Cage says that he has a fascination with all sorts of sentient life, like birds, whales, reptiles, horses, frogs, and raccoons. And just so we know, slobs, dignified is defined as having or showing a composed or serious manner that is worthy of respect.
I don't know. This is a little suspect to me. I think somebody saw his search history online and they were like, "Why are you looking at all these videos of animals fucking?" And he's like, just trying to decide which to eat.
It's a dietary choice, sir.
He's now like doubled down on. He does a class at like Brown University. It was like, as you can see, these ducks fucking. This is not dignified, but see how these chickens do it. Yeah, right in there. That's dignified.
That's the good stuff.
That could be right. He's hopping ahead of the the kind of the PR nightmare that would come with being his publicist.
Yeah, I love it. I love what Nick Cage is doing out there. He's doing the real research that we're all wondering about.
Amen.
People are like, hey, do vaccines make you sick? I want to know what animals fucking are still dignified. All right, headline or asinine. South Carolina court halts executions until the state's new firing squad option is finalized. This is a callback, Cam. This is a callback. We've done this like 5 times
This is a double callback. As we might remember, South Carolina is dealing with a reform to their death row policy, which is going to allow a firing squad, which is a great way to go, by the way. Just one guy, one gun, shoots you in the temple. That's the real reform I want. I don't want to guess who it might have been, down the line. I just want it one dude and one gun. But yeah, we're going to have to hold things on hold. Well, we've been talking before about the way the death row works, and you have these prisoners on there for 75 plus years, just because it's like appeal, the entire process, the way it goes. So it doesn't surprise me that it's going to take forever. I'm just excited for it to start happening. There's too many there.
That process speeding up.
Yeah. I want this process to go faster. I mean, what's the difference? What are the current ways on like the death penalty goes? You have classic medieval style guillotine. That's a classic death row style thing. Maybe just do we still do the do we still electrocute people? Is that still a thing? The electric chair? You put
way back.
You put the wet sponge on their head. For some reason, I don't know, but I remember that being a thing.
I think they stopped doing that around the same time they stopped using crucifixes.
Okay. So the
techniques.
The crucifixion. Why aren't we bringing that back? That death row style.
I want stoning back in style.
Well, it is unfortunately just in places that you don't want to live or be a part of. So yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a headline just because it's gonna take a little while to be implemented. But I'm glad that we're reviewing old news stories for once.
Thoughts? Headline or asinine?
I think that's asinine.
This is a headline out of South Carolina, and it's a continuation of our story where old slobs know. They're working on it. They're working on getting the firing squad back in action in South Carolina. So the rule that's been implemented is prisoners now have to have a choice of the way they're going to be executed. Now, this has been the law set in place, and the goal was to get the firing squads up and running, but there's still bills need to be passed, and the old bureaucrats need to be settled down. They need to break down that red tape. So there was a man who was scheduled to be executed this week, but because he does not have the choice, because there is no lethal injection drugs able to get to South Carolina, they've now been able to push off that date. What an existence. Really standing on his last few days here. But because he does not have the choice of the way he wants to die, because he could go electric chair, or he could go lethal injection. But because he can't go lethal injection, he only has one choice until they get the firing squads. Then he can go into electric chair or firing squads, meaning then he has the choice of which way he wants to die, because that is dignified, as Nick Cage would say.
That is dignified. And no matter what southern state you find yourself in, I'm just glad that everyone's so pro-choice. Right? When it comes
South
to...
Carolina loves
isn't that
pro-choice
weird
so
that when
much,
it,
they
isn't
say,
that
do you
weird
want firing squad or electric chair?
Isn't that weird that when it comes to ending a life, South Carolina is like, yeah, pro-choice. But when it comes to bringing a life into the world, they're like, no pro-choice. Isn't that a little funny there? A little funny how that works.
If you could choose how to go, how would you go?
Of those three options?
Of the classic...
Or unless you've got something better in mind.
I'll stick with those three options. I mean, I don't know if stoning sounds awful.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Witch burning, not good.
Yeah, I think out of all those, I mean, I guess it would just be, like, does pain matter when you're 10 seconds away from no more pain forever?
I would say so.
You know?
Do you want your last thing to be pain?
Do you want to look them in the eyes when they take your life?
Yes, very much so. I want them to see my soul escaping.
I want it to be a firing squad, but only one guy, so he has to live with it.
Yeah, I want one guy... I want one guy, one
I want
bullet.
George Bush to do it.
The guy. I want who shot JFK?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
I want Lee Harvey Oswald.
I want Lee Harvey Oswald to kill me.
Yeah, up there with his little 60s style rifle. Perfectly
that distance away too, like really far away. You don't even know where he is.
Accurate shot. Like that Lincoln, it was moving slowly, but it was moving. Very accurate shot from the window of that school book depository. Wow.
I want him to have blanks in there, and then someone from actually the grassy knoll to shoot me.
Yes, I would like that too. Maybe a second shooter style conspiracy. That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, Cam.
Or SEAL Team 6. Hate to bring them up.
Or SEAL Team 6. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
just have them bust into your house.
Yeah,
and
that's
kill
what I
you.
want. So I want SEAL Team 6 rappelling from the rooftop, breaking in through my windows, and then all just kind of taking me out together. Because that's exactly how it worked. It wasn't in a bunker like we think it was. There were windows. Osama was in a very nice Victorian-style home. 3-story.
Yeah, he was playing PlayStation at the time.
Well, a lot of people, old slobs of the show might remember that I was stuck in the bathroom at the time. We had just eaten a particularly heavy dish, and my stomach was not agreeing. And I just found myself in the washroom during the time the SEAL Team 6 came in. That's okay. I had nothing to do with it, but the entire porno stash that was found with Osama, that was all mine. That was all my porno.
Gets mixed up.
It often gets mixed up. The history books kind of forget that. It wasn't his porno. I just want people to know.
You never got that back either. What a shame.
I never got it back. They just seized it as evidence. Those freaks, those SEAL teams with their beards and their hats on backwards, and
they love America attitude.
And I guarantee they each have an American flag tattoo. Somewhere.
You better. I feel like that should be a requirement for SEAL Team 6 is you have an American flag or an eagle. Or both.
Or a bald eagle, yeah, like picking up a fish from a stream while the stream turns into an American flag. Nothing.
That sounds like a George Bush painting.
It could be.
Describing.
That could be.
I think it should be an eagle carrying a bomb over Iraq.
I'm sure someone's got that tattoo on him too, Bob. I'm sure someone's got that tattoo on him. Cam, I got one more.
Spraying at the top.
Oh, yeah, with oil. Because our oil is down there. Cam, I got one more headline here for you. Are you ready for it? Woman vows to marry husband who stabbed her 46 times.
All right, I'm going to need a repeat on that one.
Woman vows to marry husband who stabbed her 46 times.
Man. My question is, was it all at the same time?
How long after the stabbing did she say yes?
Well, I'm thinking, was it 46 different times? Oh. Right?
Like stabbed her once, and then a couple weeks later, stabbed her a couple more times.
You cheated on me twice, like the same night or different nights, right? You stabbed me 46 times, the same time or different times?
Right.
It's one of those time lapses where it's like, I got a haircut or like my face every day for 45 years. No, it's like I stabbed my wife once every day for 46 days.
This is what happens.
She's definitely a keeper.
That's all. That's all I got, Cam.
You've heard that old joke where they say, "How can you trust someone that bleeds for a week every month?"
Classic joke, by the way. Classic joke structure. Set up, punch. Yeah.
Well, he really tested that theory.
Classic joke structure.
I feel like this one is true. I feel like this is a headline.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want it to be. Sadly, I think it's a headline.
I think it's a headline just based on the stuff I've heard about domestic abusers just continually coming back to their victims or something like that, whatever the terminology is. But
it's the other way around.
The victims always coming back to their abusers. So unfortunately, it's probably not as fairy tale as a tale where I think, it was like you stab yourself every day with your. No, I guess you don't anymore.
What?
When you prick your.
Oh, I'm a diabetic. Yeah. So I do. I mean, I have to give myself like a needle.
Yeah, you stab yourself every day.
Yeah, every day.
Just verbiage.
So that's what it is. You're saying that she's a diabetic. And
Diabetic.
administering her insulin.
That's the big reveal. He's helping her
This
with.
is what George Bush has to tell us.
He's helping her with her insulin. Huge
Yeah,
reveal.
it's a beautiful spin on this.
Yeah. This is what the leftist media tells you.
Right.
Woman gets stabbed 46 days in a row. And then the right-wing media tells you woman has diabetes.
Wow. Wow, you just caught it. Well, guys, I gotta say, this is a headline. This is a story coming out of the UK where 21-year-old Shannon Bernard was attacked by her husband this past January when he stabbed her 46 times, causing both of her lungs to collapse. Out of the 46 stab wounds, there were 14 to the chest, 10 to the abdomen, and even 4 which penetrated internal organs. She spent 17 days in hospital with multiple scars, surgeries. The attack happened a few weeks after she found out that her husband was cheating on her after he spent a night of drinking and getting high on nitrous oxide, which I thought was only for cars. And although she is very thankful and fortunate to have survived, she is willing to stay committed to her husband and has even been visiting him in prison at every opportunity she gets. The man who is he sucks at stabbing. Man, obviously going to prison for the rest of his life. However, after a psychiatric evaluation, a psychiatrist determined that he has something called short-lived adjustment disorder. Not entirely sure what that is, some kind of mental disorder. He's on medication to make sure it doesn't happen again, but he will be in prison forever. So there's that.
Great. Well, I love dating prisoners. They're never around.
Good one. Isn't that
am I right?
Isn't that a George Costanza bit? I think, Cam, he dates a woman from a prison because she can never, he can always kind of tell when she's going to visit, but then she breaks out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is a good bit.
That's a good bit.
Great episode. All right, Cam, your final headline of the day. Tokyo Olympic athletes warned not to use 160,000 free condoms. Now, I will clarify this. This is not for one person. It's all athletes.
Well, yeah. So, of course, as we all know, in the Olympic Village, they give out domers because everyone's just banging. You think the top athletes on the planet aren't going to spend, their free time getting to know each other? I mean, there must have just been a lineup outside of Michael Phelps's door for like 15 years. How many Olympics was that guy in? Like, who wouldn't want a piece of Michael Phelps? Right? Now, of course...
I wonder if they're doing it in a dignified manner, if Nick Cage would deem so.
Well, I think that would be does Nick Cage want to eat Michael Phelps? I don't know. Harness some of that superior human gene? I don't know. Well, yeah, everyone's been talking about the Tokyo Olympics, whether they should happen. Like, the people who live in Tokyo don't want it to happen, but the IOC is like, money! So they really want it to happen. I guess it's good to know that the condoms are still there, even though they don't want them to be used. Yeah, kind of putting them in. I picture a giant fishbowl, like, you're kind of like at the sex ed clinic at school. I picture a giant fishbowl filled with all sorts of condoms. You just kind of pick them out. God. Well, I guess they're there. They don't want them using them because they want the least amount of, kind of transmission between people.
But they know that they're going to be used if they're there.
But they know they're going to be used.
It's a bit of a sticky situation, literally.
See, I would think the opposite. Have no condoms, get all these athletes pregnant. That way their children are super athletes. Like the fact that we're
keep
not
them in the camps to get them strong.
The fact that we're not breeding super athletes is why are we not doing in the first place? Let's take a little bit of Serena Williams, a little bit of LeBron James, and make a superhuman. That's essentially what we could be doing, right? Simone Biles.
You'll end up with a kid that loves just making noises for art, like the one you were talking about before. That's what you're gonna end up with.
Why not? Let's get Simone Biles. Let's get Michael Phelps. Put their stuff in a little thing. Next thing you know,
their stuff in a little thing. Why not just get them in the same room?
In a little petri dish, mix them up. These people probably have partners and they're married. I'm not going to ask somebody to break their marriage vows over science.
That's not dignified, in my opinion.
That's not dignified as far as I'm concerned. This all kind of checks out. So I'm going to say that this is a headline.
I think it's a headline as well.
Okay, yes, this is a headline, and I think it's a lot of PR here we got. So from 1988, they've been giving out condoms ever since the Seoul Games back there, where, just like you said, we know what's going to happen. It's bound to happen, so accept it. Now, what they're saying is they're going to keep up the tradition, but they're saying, oh, no, these aren't for sex. These are for souvenirs. We really do not want to break social contact. This is not a games of, touching each other. It's about staying safe and enjoying the games. But they have given out hundreds of thousands of 160,000 free condoms. So it's a bunch of mixed messaging. Everyone is quite confused. There's some people saying they can't keep their heads wrapped around it. There's a play on words there. See what I did there?
I did.
Anyway, so this is a headline. If you're an Olympic athlete, which I'm sure we have plenty listening to, I fully support using a mask during sex.
My big question: who is saving condoms as a souvenir, like they're bottles of booze, and you're a freshman?
I'm sure you're gonna get a better souvenir than a condom from the Olympics.
You just unwrap the condom and on it says, "I went to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, and all I got is this lousy condom."
Yeah, that's the piece. All I got was this lousy condom. Yeah, I just picture a bunch of first-year university kids. Anytime they buy a pack of condoms, they save one. Just to be like, pin it up on the wall, be like, yeah, this was sex.
Yeah, I did this to that girl.
Because what is there? Yeah, there has to be special branding on the condom, or else it's just. Or worst thing's gonna happen. Someone has a saved condom from the 2020 Olympics, but it's 2027. They don't know how old it is. Next thing you know, it rips immediately.
They last for 7 years?
I don't think that. Probably not. I'm gonna say way shorter.
I've never tested the theory, honestly.
No. Well, I'm a female condom guy. I don't. I make the. I ask for them to put on that big.
I'm a diva cup kind of guy.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that oversized sock, and they kind of suction cup it in there.
I'm just a not having sex kind of guy.
Or that also works too.
Yeah.
That also works too. Like my grade 7 teacher screamed in front of our class during a sex ed class, abstinence. She was pounding on the desk, screaming for us to abstain. And we're grade 7. Like, what the fuck are we doing anyways? I don't know.
Sounds like he had maybe been abstinent at that point in time for quite a while. All this rage pent up inside of him. He needed to release it.
Yeah, they really were. It's like, I'm sorry, God. Oh, it's fantastic,
Cam.
Cam.
About the vast difference to get into the seminal track.
Wow, someone remembered sex ed class.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think that's what the vast difference does.
I think so. But that was our last headline, and Cam, I think that's all the time that we actually have for the episode this week.
Yeah, Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you to our host of interns. Those checks will clear eventually. Just waiting on some financial restructuring.
Yeah, we're just moving around some money, of course, kind of between our accounts and our bottomless piggy bank, Cam, just in case you really don't know, we do have a large, massive ceramic piggy bank with his pants pulled around his ankles, making him bottomless. And that's where we keep all of our funds in our bottomless piggy bank, exposing his grotesque genitals. When he pulls his pants down. You will get paid. Thank you very much, Intern Dan, for being on the show. And folks, thanks for listening. You can rate, review, like, and subscribe because the podcast is everywhere. twoceesinapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
And thank you again for listening. We'll catch up next week.
Do we have
a fact this week?
No, never forget.
No facts.
Oh my God! No, never forget.
We forgot to look up the facts. All right, I'll give you a fact. There's two different types of fishing reels I found out this weekend. There's more than two different types of fishing reels.
Oh, you're not going to give the types?
The spinning one and the non-spinning one.
Okay, I'm going to say. I got this one here for you. And never forget, folks, sometimes Cam doesn't remember facts. Take care, folks.
Continuing
tonight on Two Seas in a Pod. 96.7 on your... Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.